From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big noontime with huge, breaking, exciting, great news about your fourth stimulus check of 2021 today. In this recording, we go over why the fourth stimulus check is heading to the finish line. It's a monthly stimulus check that will pay you a lot of money, but we go over why the Senate plan suddenly looks like the better plan because of breaking developing details yesterday. This is a monthly stimulus check, the fourth stimulus package that pays you a check starting the month of July. I'll go over how much you get in this fourth stimulus package in this recording. Then we cut to fifth stimulus in the second half of this recording, and why people on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits will not only have their benefits lifted up, but according to one analyst, could see them increase 20% a lifetime on top of that. This is major breaking news just minutes ago. Really incredible, great news. Then we go over to the big money that's landing in your cities, states, and counties and in your hands today. Thousands of dollars and what you need to do to get it. It's a great noontime. I'm really excited for you. It's all breaking this moment, and it's here right now on Noontime LALATE. Hey, good noontime, everybody. This is LALATE, and boy, am I really excited for you. It's a big day of exciting, great news across the board. In this recording, I go over the fourth stimulus check update of 2021. I go over the big money landing in your bank account starting July. It's a monthly stimulus check, and why the Senate plan today, because the news of what happened in the CDC yesterday makes the Senate plan look like the more desired one. I'll have all those details. Then in the second half of this recording, we'll go over SSI and SSDI, why the reform is actually getting even better, because one analyst says you're going to add a 20% on top of that. Wow, this is jaw-dropping. And then we go over the big money that's available for you starting today, starting this weekend, and all next week, but something you may have to do. It's a tough love moment, and I'm here to give you the love. But first, make sure you subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel, live in the morning, taped in the afternoon. Delivering all the details you need. You don't want to miss a single video, so subscribe. Also, like this video. 3,000 likes. Let's get it to number one. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Let's get to all the breaking details starting right now. I'm very excited for you on what is happening this noontime. At noontime, fourth stimulus checks are heating up because of not only what the CDC said, but also what those House and Senators say. Let's compare and contrast the plans across the board. The House proposal is to provide you a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year, and for an amount that is slightly less than the Senate plan. So if you're in the live chat watching right now, get ready to vote, but not just yet. It's a little bit after 11:30 on the West Coast. Get ready to vote House or Senate, but not just yet. And if you're watching this taped, get ready to comment in the comments as well. So the House plan provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senators provide a stimulus check from now till December, July to December. Looks good for the House first, but let's look at the monthly stimulus check amount. So the House members provide a stimulus check of $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. And the Senate plan, the amount monthly is unknown, but word on the street, it would be this. Wow. Word on the street is the Senators would pay you $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Now, what's breaking minutes ago? And breaking yesterday, suddenly we now see that the House plan may not be the more attractive option. Why? Because when we talked about the House plan, we were always talking about the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. And we always thought, well, there's 4 more months, 3 more months, 5 more months. Let's say 4 months plus 1 year, that's 16 months of stimulus checks. Well, here's what you need to know of what's happening across the board, is that the CDC yesterday announced that all masks are being lifted across the country if you're vaccinated inside. And minutes ago, the White House has confirmed no masks on White House grounds for guests or visitors if they're vaccinated, and staffers, when they're vaccinated, they don't have to wear masks. So are we coming out of the pandemic in the next 4 weeks? If that's the case, we're only talking about one more month of stimulus checks plus 1 year thereafter. We're only talking about 13 stimulus checks for the House plan, which would amount, when you're looking at the calculation, to $14,000 over 13 months. Hence, now let's get ready to vote. Do you want $14,000 over 13 months or potentially $12,000 over 6 months? Yes, now you see how suddenly the CDC's announcement just sort of changed everything. Really quite interesting. And there you go. Now, who gets the fourth stimulus check? You do. If you got the third stimulus check, you get the fourth stimulus check. If you make less than $75,000, you get the fourth stimulus check. If you're a married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security or railroad benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. Same amount of stimulus check for adult dependents, minor dependents, everyone else. It's all the same amount of stimulus check. Is it income? No. Is it taxable? No. Remember, I'm a reporter. I just report the news. Ultimately, I'm not the legislator. I run their representations. And what do they represent? It's going to be done in July. So hence, the first check in July for the month of July, in August for the month of August. There would be no waves of stimulus checks like the third stimulus package. And we don't know anything yet about child support. That's your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. But guess what? I got big updates about that coming up in the later in this recording. Some more breaking news that impacts that fourth stimulus check, but let me give you a preview of the second half of the recording. While I give you this preview, get a pen and paper ready because this is a 30-minute broadcast. It's jam-packed with money for you, and I want you to get this money, and you're going to hear deadlines literally 1 day away, 1 business day away. So I want you to get that pen and paper ready. I have a lot of money. Stay with me for the whole recording, but let me give you a preview of the second half. The second half is the SSI, SSDI, Social Security railroad benefits reform that's added to fifth stimulus. In September, the Congress is going to do the fifth stimulus package for the president. And the fifth stimulus package is like the fourth stimulus package, a 2-bill, 2-step, 2-month process. They're already underway with the fourth stimulus package. In September, they'll start the fifth. And while I've been reporting to you over the last week that this reform would lift your benefits up, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, guess what happened this morning? One major analyst said that the money may absolutely potentially go higher. What's going on here? At issue is the inflationary rate. And one analyst thinks that the inflationary rate over the next year could be 20%. Which would mean that after they raise your benefits would also go up an additional 20%. I have all that exciting news in the second half of this video. Yeah, I feel the excitement in the room. I feel the excitement in the live chat. But now let me cut back to the incredible money landing across the board. Now, this week, let's get to this incredible great news. What I'm going to get to right now is what I call a cluster of both donut moment money and also tough love money. So what's donut money? It means you don't have to do anything. You can have your donut and just eat it and the money lands automatically. And guess what's the first one? Yes, thousands of dollars is landing in your bank account starting this week and next week from your states. This is from your states. Who's getting it? If you had received an overpayment from your unemployment department anytime in the last year and was asked to return it to no fault of your own, that money is coming back to you. It's incredible great news. The federal government has ordered states to return back to you unemployment benefits that they asked returned back to them and that you returned. Here's an example. Your state sent you an extra $2,000, then said, oh, we had a computer malfeasance. We accidentally sent you $2,000. Send it back to us. You did. Now the federal government has ordered returned back to you automatically. Incredible great news. You don't have to do anything for this. It's coming back to you. Donut moment number 2. There's going to be a check landing in your mailbox, potentially. Let me go over that check and let me go over how much money it is. You're going to see either a beige or white envelope, and in the envelope will be a beige check from the Department of Revenue or Department of Treasury that says refund. And what is that refund? It's a refund of the taxes you paid on your 2020 unemployment benefits being returned back to you from the federal government. It's landing this week and a little bit of next week if you're a single tax preparer. If you are a husband and wife joint filer, it's the week after. It's incredible great news. It's incredible great news. And I had one viewer this morning send me a private message, said, thank you, LA, for the messaging. I got $2,000 from IRS in the mailbox. Congratulations. So let me explain to you how much you're getting. If, for example, you had $9,000 of unemployment assistance in 2020, you filed your tax return, you paid a total tax bill of $5,000. Of that total tax bill of $5,000, $4,000 was taxes on your unemployment. You paid to the federal government, IRS. Congratulations, you're getting back a $4,000 check in the mail. The only case in which it comes by direct deposit is if that was listed on your tax return. And again, if you're a married couple, it's coming next week. Incredible great news. That is another donut moment, which brings me to the tough love moment. I know that noontime is a very big show, and I want to be very clear on my tough love because guess what? This is Friday. It's just after 11:30, and guess what? You have a deadline, and the deadline is this coming Monday for many of you. And I'm going to go over that deadline throughout this recording. What is that deadline? The deadline to file a personal tax return is Monday at the end of the day. And you're going to hear me reference that moment in just the next few moments. But let's go over all the details about this at item number one. Tough love number one. If you took out for federal taxes in 2020, anytime while receiving unemployment benefits, you have to, by the end of Monday, file a tax return requesting that money back from IRS. Here's an example. You took out $100 a week from your unemployment benefits in 2020 for federal taxes. Over 10 weeks, that's $1,000. You have to now request that $1,000 back from IRS on a 2020 tax return, and it's due by the end of Monday. That brings me then to not one, but three major tough love moments, and they concern you and children. Let's say you're a mom of a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 3-year-old. You're going to get $10,000 approximately starting in the month of July. If you do what I follow, if you follow what I say, but if you don't, you'll potentially get zero. Let me go over what's happening. Starting in July, if you have a child 5 to newborn, you're getting $3,600 prorated as $300 a month. Or 17 to 6, you're going to get $3,000 prorated as $250 a month. If two events have occurred, one, you make less than $75,000, and two, IRS knows that child is with you and that child exists, which triggers not one but three tough love moments. Tough love moment number one. You never file tax returns. You've never listed that child on your tax return, and you don't think that IRS knows that child exists and is with you. When July comes around for that 5, 4, and 3-year-old, you will categorically 100% get zero. You must file a tax return by the end of Monday. If you do not, you will not get paid anything in July, and you cannot fix it in July. Tough love moment number two is that you do file tax returns every year, and you filed last year and you're about to file this year, but you've never listed that child before. Maybe because the child was on someone else's tax return, or because the child was just born in the last year. IRS does not know that child is with you, and you are not going to get paid that child's money in July if you do not file that tax return by the end of Monday, listing that child on your tax return. Item number three, a more rare tough love moment, where you made a lot of money in 2019 and you listed the child, but because you made too much money, you're not eligible for this children's money. But in 2020, you took a dive and you didn't make much money because of the pandemic. IRS is going to go off the most recent filed tax return, which at the moment is 2019 because you haven't filed the new one, and they're not going to pay you in July because they thought you made too much money not to be qualified for the money. Which brings me to the major big tough love moment number four, which is you're missing a stimulus check. You're missing the first one, the second one, or the third one, or you're missing a member of the household stimulus check. You need to file that tax return by the end of Monday. Now, I want you to look me straight in the eye because you're so smart, you're so diligent, and you're such on top of your game, but I want you to be very clear about this tough love moment right now. If you never file a tax return because you don't make enough money, or you never file a tax return because you're on SSI or SSDI, that's fine. But that's not what I'm talking about in this recording. What I'm talking about in this recording is that if these situations have to be fixed, for example, IRS doesn't know that child is with you, you categorically must file the tax return. Otherwise, you will not get the money, and that tax return is due the end of Monday. There is no way around it. You must file the tax return. Moreover, every single day, sporadically, I have one person drop in the comments say, is anyone else missing their third stimulus check? What should I do? I keep on looking. I don't see it coming. That viewer should not be dropping that comment. That viewer should be at the tax preparer's office right now requesting the missing third stimulus check. That's what IRS has ordered them to do, ordered Americans to do. They say file the tax return if you haven't gotten the third stimulus check. Don't be on a YouTube channel asking where it is. You're never going to get it. You must file the tax return, and it's due by the end of Monday. And that is why it's a tough love moment, because the tax return is due by the end of Monday. You must get it on file. All right, now with all that news, then let me give you a big, big hug of money, and the big hug of money starts right now. As a Purple Hawk, in January, I announced the expression Purple Hawk to refer to when money goes live, you have to pounce before anyone else and get the money because there could be a stimulus stampede, another expression I coined, that describes when there's so much money coming to market, people are going to swarm to get that money. What is that money? Well, guess what? It's $350 billion of it. And it's coming to your city, county, and state last week, this week, and next week. What is it for? It's for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners' utility bills. And how much money can you get? Let's go over all the details. I hope you got that pen and paper ready. It is money for rent, and it's about $5,000 for 4 to 6 months of rent. Where do you reach out to get it? City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. The words you say is, I need rent assistance because of COVID. You can also say Economic Recovery Act from Biden. You do not categorically say stimulus package or third stimulus. You don't use those words. Next, SNAP. SNAP is money for food, and it's so much money. A family of 4 in Hawaii, now because of a Trump executive order and a Biden executive order, raising your benefits up 15% for 1 year, gets $16,000 a year. It's incredible, great news. So look at this, $16,000 for SNAP and a family of 4 in Hawaii, $5,000 for rent. We're only 17 minutes in this video. I've gotten you $21,000. This is incredible, great news, which brings me to another tough love moment. The tough love moment is that rent, utilities, mortgage assistance are not coming back under fourth stimulus at all, or fifth stimulus. They're gone. This is the last ride to the rodeo. So if you think you need the money, you have to get it right now. You can't wait around and hope for help. Moreover, the eviction moratorium going away. It's not coming back. It's going away in September. The mortgage forbearance going away. FPUC going away. All these things are going away. And so you can't sit back and hope that there's going to be protection, because I'm telling you right now, in a tough love moment, get the rent, get the utilities, get the mortgage, get the SNAP, because these items, with the exception of SNAP, are all going away. It's first come, first serve. But guess what? It's not first come, first serve when getting help from this channel, and we have the community page. The community page is a series of volunteers that can help you get rent, utilities, internet, mortgage assistance, and the utility assistance as well, and the free internet. They cannot help you with your taxes. They cannot help you with your unemployment benefits. But reach out to them. They appear in the link to the page, the web page, is in the description to this video. In the description and also in the pinned comment at news.lalate.com/community. It has a series of cats at the top of the page. Here's a little bit about the community page, and after the commercial break, I'll be back with huge big news about that 20% potential increase for your SSI and SSDI benefits on top of its increase, and more news about forced stimulus. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now,
then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now on Noontime LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check and fifth stimulus check. In the second half of this recording, we go over the breaking details that are impacting your fourth stimulus. Yes, there is another reconciliation item at play. I'll be going over all those details. It happened minutes ago, and that 20% increase that goes on top of SSI and SSDI, that I'm going to slow down because it's incredible great news. And you're only going to hear it on this channel. No one goes into the level of analysis like this. It requires two types of coverage to get this type of news, and it's coming up in the second half of this recording. But first, subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. I want you part of this family. I want you part of this family by subscribing. Also, like this video. If you're in the live chat, hit that like right now. 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The pinned comment and also description has that link. Why is fourth stimulus getting incredible push today? Why? Because of a new report indicating that in July, at the same time they have to get this to the finish line, they also, congressional leaders, have to do a budget bill. And that budget bill is regarding raising the debt ceiling limit. The deadline on raising this debt ceiling limit is July 31st. And ironically, the reports today say that in raising the debt ceiling limit by July 31st, legislators are going to do it on party line. That's going to be a purely Democratic vote. This is incredible great news for you because that signals that at the same time they're doing this two-step, 2-month process to get four stimulus checks out the door, only by Democrats with Democrats, then they're also focusing at the same time a raising the ceiling debt limit bill, which is only Democrats for Democrats. Last Friday, the president came out with a message. On Monday, he did again. And then Tuesday, nearly 5 press conferences where he spoke to the Democratic leadership and said, get it done. Incredible great news. He said, get it done. But he said 3 words that were categorically massive news. Corporate tax rate. He came out and he said that he would make a deal on the corporate tax rate. This is huge because the only thing that could potentially derail the fourth stimulus package was a corporate tax rate the president had proposed of 28 to 29%, where it currently is 21%, and Democrats, moderates, wanted 25. And he said, do the deal. But guess what? I know what you're waiting for. Yeah, I can feel it in the live chat. I could feel in the live chat. It's not Senate versus House. It is what is going on with that 20% for SSI. Let me go over the incredible details, and you're only going to hear it on this channel right now. This is all breaking news at noontime. So over the last few days, you've heard from me that the fifth stimulus package will have an add-on, and that add-on is incredible great news. It is the SSI reform. Let's go over the details of it first, generally. Then I'll go over the specifics and what happened minutes ago. So they're going to increase your benefit limits, then remove the asset limit, and then do a new one. Add an inflationary benchmark. That's the one that's breaking news minutes ago. Then remove the income exclusion, and then remove the marriage penalty. All right, let me go over all these details, and I'm going to show you the part of this that's new at noontime. So, who's you? SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, Survivor benefits. They're going to take your current benefit amount and raise it up to a big number. That's your new number. Then they're going to tie your benefits to inflation. So as inflation goes up, your benefits go up. Now, at that point, let me pause and tell you the breaking news. As you understand, when I say they're going to tie you to benefits, and as inflation goes up, as they can tie you into inflation, as inflation goes up, your benefits go up. What the concept of that, very simply, as you already know, is that you start at a number, and then at the end of the year, they look at inflation. If inflation is 2%, then your benefits will go up 2%. If next year, the year after, it goes up, the inflation is another 2%, you also go up 2%. If the year after that, inflation is 0, you don't go down. So in essence, you keep on stepping up. But if something happens with the economy, you never go down. You just step up and stop or continue to step up. There is no step down when we talk about tying it to inflation. Got it? So here's the breaking news. This morning, Jeremy Siegel, one of the most renowned investors across the country and Wharton School of Business professor, came out and said, I've seen that reports where people are talking about inflation this year of 2%, 2.5%, 3%, 4%. You've heard them on the channel from me ad nauseum over the last week. He said, I think the inflation rate over the next 12 months could be 20%. This is huge. Let me show you the math for this for your benefits. So first they raise your benefits up to a new number. That's where you are. But if inflation does pop at 20%, then your benefits will be raised 20%. And who cares what happens the year after that? Because your benefits will not drop down again. They will be at that level or go up. They will never drop down. So an enormous inflationary rate for just 1 year will raise your benefits up an enormous amount, and they'll always be at that level or higher your entire existence. This is jaw-dropping, massive news. Now let me go over the remaining items of the stimulus package. They would also remove the asset cap. So the current asset cap says you cannot keep more than $3,000 on hand for some of you. It's a 1980s law. They get rid of it. And then they would remove the income cap. It's dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. So if you want to go out and work, you could. You don't have to. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty. Love will win. The marriage penalty has prevented people from getting married because they're afraid of losing their benefits if they get married. So if you suffered for the marriage penalty, it's going away. If you want to get married, now you'll be able to get married and not suffer the marriage penalty. Love will win. When will this all take effect? Again, this is a 2-bill, 2-month, 2-step process starting in September. Fifth stimulus out the door, likely to impact your benefits around November, December. Incredible, great news. And now, why is there so much changing across the board? Well, let's go back to forced stimulus. When we looked at forced stimulus earlier in this recording, we were trying to figure out whether the Senate plan now looks more attractive if we're coming out of this pandemic faster. While the House plan provides stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year, there's now questions as the CDC has lifted its mask guidelines. As the White House has now said, you do not have to wear a mask on White House grounds if you're vaccinated, whether guest, visitor, member of press, or staffer. And now California is lifting its mask guidelines on January 15th. The question is this pandemic done, over with in less than 30 days? If that's the case, just using that scenario, not saying it is the scenario, but let's use that example. If there's only 1 month left to the pandemic, then the House would provide you 13 months of checks. Remember, it's the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. 13 months of checks is $14,000 because the first month you get a double check. $14,000 over 13 months for the House, or $12,000 potentially over 6 months. Suddenly, the Senate plan looks a lot more attractive because the difference of the money between the two plans is nearly less than $2,000. But the House plan takes you a year to get it, and the Senate plan potentially takes you only 6 months to get it. Very, very major breaking news across the board. Ultimately, we don't know how quickly we're out of the pandemic. But if that's the CDC's guidelines in the last 24 hours, things are moving very fast. Wynn Resorts today announced in Las Vegas it will not require masks anywhere inside of its property if you're vaccinated. As to hotel guests to Wynn or visitors, you do not need to show proof of vaccination. You just only have to represent you're vaccinated, and you do not have to wear a mask on their property. As to employees, you will have to be vaccinated. And currently, Wynn is also lifting up and removing all plexiglass dividers. So there you go. We are coming out of this pandemic very quickly. And guess what's coming up next as well is Afternoons LALATE. Big broadcast today. We got Afternoons LALATE taped at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 6 o'clock on the East Coast. Then we have Evenings LALATE. And then we have a few more surprise videos tonight, including a hilarious throwback video from Halloween. If you ever seen me wear a mask, well, then you get to see it again. That exciting details comes up later. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel from Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, from crypto to stimulus. It's all getting covered here, and I love your love, and I love getting rid of the marriage penalty. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Always stay positive, always stay motivated, always stay focused, because in the end, we get it to the end together. Stay with me, and I'll see you next on Afternoons LALATE.